Good morning, everyone, and thanks for being here today to this fourth edition of the PhD Open Day. We're going to be talking a little bit about our PhD program in Aerospace Science and Technology today. Before actually going into the agenda, I would like to, just present you what this PhD is about, right? We are training future or a young generation of researchers in the field of aerospace science and technology, including theoretical, numerical, and experimental practices in different domains, both in aeronautics and space, okay? We have a marked vocation into multidisciplinary, intersectoral, and international character. So we have a PhD that is quite international, that is combining different sectors, academic, industrial, research institutions, and that combines also different disciplines as it is a trend today. So it's not only aerospace, we are also diving ourselves into machine learning, statistics, physics, and many other applications, okay? Why pursuing a PhD? I don't know if there is anyone in the audience who is thinking on enrolling in our program. Maybe from remote there is someone. But we are witnessing in the last years a continuous loss of fundamentals, right? The fundamentals that engineers, mathematicians, physicists used to have, we are losing them. And this loss of knowledge is becoming more and more accelerated with the outbreak of artificial intelligence in the last years. Okay, and we are even seeing that in our bachelor and master. So we do believe that doing a PhD, right after a bachelor and a master, is providing you with those skills, fundamental skills, but also the capacity to solve real problems, the capacity to self-plan your activities for 3-4 years, that current studies in the bachelor and master level are not providing to you. And this is a quite valuable asset for you as current PhD students, for future PhD students, because we believe that the society needs that, okay? Right? I think a PhD, and we honestly think that a PhD can provide you a rewarding career from an economical perspective, from a position perspective, from the type of problems you're going to be tackling in the future, and also from an intellectual perspective. And I believe that you're going to be contributing to society somehow, which I think should be also a motivation from an individual. What type of career opportunities we think you could have? We are kind of boosting your career, yeah, somehow. We will see the possibility of following a scientific career in universities, as a faculty member here in Spain. We will have Rodrigo talking about that afterwards, but also at international level in research centers or other universities abroad, overseas, etc. Of course, R&D career in aerospace sector. Okay, aerospace sector has been always pioneering in terms of R&D, innovation, and there is a demand for people capable of tackling new problems, right? So we do believe that having a PhD is differential also for a career in the industry. Creating your own company, okay? There is no culture in Spain about that, but I do believe, and we do believe in the program, that transforming your research, your PhD, into something tangible, bringing to the market, is quite valuable, right? And we really encourage you to do so. We have a couple of examples, but this is something that could be your career as well, your future career. And last but not least, this is something new, you will have opportunities in different sectors, sometimes totally out of the box, right? Because the knowledge that you're gaining here can be applicable to many other sectors, right? And not only engineering sectors. Maybe others, who knows? Consultancy, financial, etc. Okay, so we will see a couple of examples thereafter. So, I will be now describing a bit the program, research lines, type of activities, right, for those interested in joining our program. Sorry, because I'm repeating this year after year. I try to bring something new on the table, but it's difficult. But we are trying to do new things here. Then we'll go into specifically on the different laboratories and research lines and PhD openings that might show up in the next months for the next academic year. So please stay tuned, those interested in joining, enrolling our program. And then we will have 1 hour and 15 devoted to 3 short presentations from 3 of our alumni. Our alumni network is growing, and they are becoming more and more senior with more responsibilities. So I think that's good news. And listening to their experiences, I think is quite valuable. So we will listen to Tony Almagro, Juanma Catalan, and Rodrigo Castellanos, which really thank you guys. Where is Tony? I don't know. Oh, right there. Okay. So thank you guys for making a slot for us in your agendas. Thanks for being here. I hope it's something pleasant for you. And we will do a roundtable also, not only listening to them, but posing some questions myself, but also yourself if you want. Okay. And last but not least, there is a snack lunch prepared for we all to have lunch together. So share some discussions, points of view, etc., which I think is also important. So I'm going to try to be quick on this. The program is structured into 2 main areas: aeronautics and space. In aeronautics, we have activity in these fields, structures and material, including aeroelasticity, composites, structural analysis, then the design of the aircraft, design and manufacturing of the aircraft, including new types of aircraft such as electric, hybrid electric, hydrogen aircraft, including also kites, which is a way of extracting energy from the air, as all the type of wind energy systems, right? Then we have aerodynamics and propulsion systems for aeronautical vehicles, and also the operation of the vehicle, right? Trajectories, the effects of meteorology, climate impact of aviation, etc., etc., etc. When it comes to space, we also have activity on propulsion, in this case, in a space environment, dealing with or related to plasma physics, plasma thrusters, etc. We do have activities on astrodynamics and GNC in general, applied to space. Control for launchers, for satellites, and also space systems, right? Systems that we need to have on board the satellite. For instance, one example is space tethers, right? That might be a mean to retrieve space debris that is in orbit. When it comes to our PhD students, you have always the web where we try to include all the information, because I think for us the most important asset in the program is you as students. We have now around 60, well, this is changing because we have a lot of people defending, some people dropping out, sadly, some people enrolling, but we have around 60 to 65 students. As you see, quite international. Half of our students are international, from Italy, mainly because we have also a lot of faculty people from Italy, from Iran, from France, China, and then Norway, USA, Portugal, Japan, Ecuador, Greece, Niger, and I might be missing some other countries, right? In terms of gender, we still are a bit behind getting a gender balance, right? Just 15, roughly 15 of our students are females. So we strongly encourage females to apply, to knock our doors, to contact supervisors, because we really want to bridge this gap, Okay, it's difficult because this is structural in the sector, but just to send this message. Okay, in terms of sector, most of our students are funded under projects, scholarships here in the department, but we also have some industrial PhDs with different companies in Spain, but also in Europe. And we are trying to strengthen our cooperation with institutions, INTA in Spain, von Karman Institute. We have 2 students from the von Karman Institute this year, etc. Okay. As for our alumni, we have already 20 students who have defended their PhD thesis in our program. We have other students, such as the case of Tony or Rodrigo, that were enrolled in the PhD program of fluid mechanics. But that's very nice to see how people is growing, is finalizing their thesis, defending, and then moving to a professional career and growing up in general as individuals. We are also putting a lot of effort in building a portfolio for each of you. So whenever you are finished, you will have your PhD, project participation, your research stays abroad, and the recording of all your talks in the doctoral meetings. This is important more than what you might think, because people is looking at this, right? And people is contacting me, you, your supervisors, because they have seen or watched this. And this happened to me a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago. Okay, someone contacted me for a project, a NASA project, because they were needing some expertise on contrail detection using satellites, and they were watching one of the videos by a PhD student of myself, Irene. Okay, so I think it's important from that perspective. So this is also putting a bit of pressure on you. You're going to be presenting in a couple of months. You need to do a good job, okay? Here in the program, and if you do it well here in the program, I'm sure you will be doing a great job whenever you go abroad for a conference, in a project, or when you finally defend your thesis, okay? As for supervisors, we are not super important, but a little bit, I guess so. It's a great pleasure for me as director of this PhD program to have such a board of supervisors, right? Brilliant supervisors with a lot of contacts, a lot of projects, a lot of funding, a lot of scientific insight. And we are important, especially at the very beginning, because if any of you is thinking of or about doing a PhD, enrolling in the PhD program, you can touch base with me, with the administrative people, but I'm going to tell you that you need to contact a supervisor, right? You need to identify the topic, the area in which you want to do research, touch base with those researchers, scientists doing research in that particular area, and then discuss with them to narrow down the topic, if there is a sort of agreement on both interests, and after that, hopefully find funding. Okay, the funding will come after having found a topic and a supervisor. All right, you have a list of all of us in the web. Some of us are here in the room, some others not, but you can take a look. Okay. As for projects, we have students working in many different projects, starting by ERC projects. We have 2 starting grants that are, I guess, about to finish, and we have many students working in these 2 projects. And recently, Andrea Yaniro was awarded with a ERC Consolidator grant that we will have some bits will be explained thereafter, and I'm sure he's going to be opening several positions tied to this particular project. Okay, we also have projects from the European Innovation Council, so more lean towards innovation and not so fundamental science. And recently, Mario was awarded with one project. Also, Gonzalo has been securing funding from this program. And other European projects in which we are participating or we are coordinating in different domains, and of course, national and regional projects as well. And projects with ESA and other important institutions. You can take a look at the list of projects in the web. Activities. One important activity to me has to do with PhD seminars, right? I know that we are very busy always, focusing on our problems, but getting some air, right? As if we go for running for a little bit, being exposed to what other people has to do, interact with other researchers from other institutions, even working on topics that are totally different from what we are doing, is always inspiring, okay? You always have something to learn, for the good or for the bad. And I think it's important to attend to these seminars. We are trying to organize them periodically. In May, we will have 2 people coming here and talking. One would be Ignacio Andreu, who is a colleague, junior assistant professor in the department. We are also organizing talks for all the junior assistant professors that are joining the department. And I think it's interesting for all of us to know what he's doing and to which extent we can collaborate, okay? And then Claudio Bombardelli, he's a colleague at UPM working on space debris, and he will be talking on May 12th, okay? So stay tuned in our social media, the calendar that we share to attend these seminars, please. The PhD doctoral meetings. This is probably the most important activity in the program. This is happening once per year. And here you are not there listening, but you are here presenting, okay? And this year will be on the 3rd and 4th of June, Tuesday and Wednesday, full day program. We are always changing a bit what we are doing. Last year, the poster session, because the first year students, they have to prepare a poster with a conceptualization of the PhD, a motivation, main research gaps, goals, methods, maybe preliminary results. And it was quite interesting, okay? Many posters, many people, a lot of discussions, because we were also organizing snacks, coffees, and so on and so forth. But spreading it into 4 tracks, 4 different days, made it a bit complicated, right? Because the first day was full, but the others was a bit empty and sad. So we have decided to go this way. I will be organizing this very soon, scheduling you, but please save or book your agendas for this. All right? Research stays abroad. This is, for me, it was the most interesting activity that I did in my PhD, and I still think that is super important for you to travel, right? To working in an international environment, in a different laboratory, learning things in a different way, if possible, finding synergies, starting to establish a network of international collaboration, and so on and so forth, plus the fact, the personal insight that this is going to provide you being in a different country as the Erasmus program or any type of trip, okay? So this is not a must in the program, but we strongly encourage you to do at least a 3 months international research stay to be eligible for the international mention of the PhD. You see that we have a lot of contacts with a lot of institutions all over the world. So take that opportunity, take that as an opportunity for you to also travel and do this activity. As for other type of activities, this has been demanded by some of you because there is no specific training or courses at the entrance of the PhD. But of course, we all have the need to continuously learn. How to do that is not easy, right? So we were organizing some short courses. This is a bit specific. It depends on probably some researcher that has a contact, someone that wants to come. And we're organizing a 4 to 5, 6 sessions course or something specific. I think Stefano is organizing a course on June the 2nd, I think, related to data-driven fluid mechanics, sort of, right? Taught by Miguel Mendez, who is a supervisor in the PhD program. He's working at Von Karman Institute. And well, this is open for you to come, knock my door, and propose ideas. Maybe in the future, some of these courses might be structured in a different way for a master in which we are working, by the way. We'll see, okay? We're also working, and this has been organized by Mario. Thanks, Mario, for that. We are also proposing these exchange workshops in which, in the case of the short courses, there is a researcher, senior researcher, that is coming here and teaching the course. In the exchange workshops, it's a bit us, but also you, right? It has to do with something a bit more transversal, not necessarily scientific. It can be using 3D printing for experimental aerodynamics or experimental setups. ParaView, which is a software to visualize use in CFD, computational fluid dynamics. We also did a workshop on state of the art, how to write an introduction, because we identify the need of the lack of knowledge in this particular aspect. And I think it was quite interesting. And I am still referring my new students to the material. And the last we organized was on coding tips. Not coding, but how to use VS Code, how to use Git for the different versions, how to write code in a collaborative basis, how to develop libraries, licensing, documenting, right? Things that sometimes we don't do because we code quick and dirty, but it's important also to take into consideration. And the next one we're going to be preparing, Lorena proposed it, has to do with scientific illustration. I have renamed it like this, Mario. That is becoming important, not only plotting results, but also use tools such as Inkscape or Adobe Illustration to prepare figures, graphical abstracts, and some other tools that we might use in presentations, in papers, to also visuals for projects, for libraries, etc., right? Or even for proposals. It's becoming more and more important precisely because people is not paying attention to anything. And I can look, you yourselves are most of you in the screen now. It's becoming more and more important to capture the attention, the sooner, the better, and in the best way possible. And for that, we need to use visuals. Publications, we are doing groundbreaking research in the department. You are doing so. The expectation is that you publish in top journals, right? There is a bit of inflection in we were mentioning this a couple of years ago. A lot of journals, a lot of publications. Now, the first screening is becoming more hard, right? It's not easy to pass the first screening because there are no reviews available. So you might have noticed that now publishing, especially if you are aiming a good journal, is a bit more difficult than it was a couple of years before. And that's good news, because we need to enhance quality. It's better to go for quality rather than quantity. And also, Rodrigo is going to be talking about this, about the academic career. Also, ANECA and the Spanish institutions are moving in that direction. Right? I don't want you to publish 25 papers. I prefer that you publish 5 with good quality. Okay? We have this is something that we already had last year, a Nature Communications publication by Alberto, right? And this might be a direction to move. Some practical information, important things here. In order to enroll the PhD, you must have a bachelor and a master, okay? Altogether, 300 credits, and the master has to be at least of 60 credits. The difference this year, this is a reality, is that the master needs to be finished. Okay, so you cannot enroll, as it happened a couple of years ago, with the bachelor and the first year of the master completed. Okay, so you must have the master completed, right? Apart from that, we have a preferred background in aerospace, but precisely because of this multidisciplinary character of the program, we are quite willing to accept people with expertise in mathematics, physics, different types of engineering, manufacturing, industrial, mechanical, electric, and electronic, etc., etc., etc. Admission, these are practicalities, okay, for new students. There is a lot of paperwork, but please, first of all, contact or find a supervisor. You can contact myself with a CV, a letter of motivation, and I will refer you to those working in the area. But this is the most important thing. Sometimes we are opening positions. You can directly apply. But some of the times you can take the action to contact us, right? Because the position or the activity might be open in the next months, and there is the possibility to circulate your CV or to apply with your CV and the supervisor's CV to scholarships, such as the ones we have at national level or regional level. Okay, and we are doing so regularly. So if you have good marks over than 8 out of 10, I strongly encourage to contact different researchers, find your way, find a topic, because this is a good possibility, right? Other than getting your funding out of projects, etc. Then you have to fill the paperwork, and for that, you have the support of administration. We are not administrative people. We can help, but strongly encourage you to use also the administrative services of the School of Doctorate, which are very good, by the way. And same applies if you're in a company, by the way. Okay, if you want to do industrial PhD, same applies. In this case, we might find funding opportunities in industrial calls at regional or national level. And the requirements to finalize your PhD are at least one paper index in the Journal of Citations report, participate in doctoral meetings, this is a must. These two are a must. And one international conference. So these 3 things are a must. Of course, if you are doing a research stay this June, we will find a way, okay? But just for you to know. Then, for the international mention, the 3 months abroad. Only if you and your supervisors agree to do so, okay? Attend to the seminars on a regular basis would be also desirable, okay? We are not the police to control you, but I think it's interesting to attend if you can make it. And then you have the option to take transversal credits offered by the school and other type of formation, including our workshops, our courses, and upon admission, you can also agree with your supervisors to take any master course within the portfolio at UC3M. Okay? This is going to change because we are going to modify the title and especially the admission, but this will come into play in academic year 26-27, not for next academic year. So we will be talking about this next year. Now, I don't know how I'm doing with time. A little bit behind schedule. I'm going to be talking about the different laboratories, research lines, openings, and future opportunities. I'm going to do it myself. I don't have the expertise on all the topics, but in the interest of time and agility, I think it's good to go so, okay? So here we have the experimental aerodynamics and propulsion lab. We have Stefano here. I don't know if Andrea is around. Marco is outside. And Ignacio Andreu, I think, he's here. Okay. So Ignacio and Stefano right? You have the emails here. They are doing especially experimental aerodynamics, okay? Developing non-intrusive measurement techniques in the wind tunnel, all right, for flow diagnostic and flow control, okay? They're combining data-driven techniques with fluid mechanics to understand the flow and then, if possible, control it to reduce drag and etc. Okay, here is where the ERC, the starting grant of Stefano, was being developed, and now here I don't know exactly what Andrea is going to do, but here is his consolidated grant called Spandrels, Sparse and Parsimony Event-Based Flow Sensing. So I think it goes in the same direction. Manifold learning of turbulent flows, event-based signal processing. If you want to learn more, please touch base with Andrea Yaniro, because he will be probably opening position soon. They have a lot of experimental facilities. We were talking about the wind tunnel. We're going to have a new, bigger and way more powerful wind tunnel soon in the department, right, Stefano? They have an anechoic chamber in which they can do some experimental analysis on noise. And recently, they also have a kind of wall, right, that can provide a flow for testing drones, for instance, or other type of small artifacts, right? So if you like these things, experimental aerodynamics, this is your group. This is the new channel. Okay, if you prefer numerical aerodynamics, computational fluid dynamics, then you might want to touch base with Oscar, Miguel, 3M, Alberto. Okay, some of them are here. Alberto is right there, 3M. They do, first of all, view-inspired aerodynamics. They have been analyzing flapping wings, Samara's rotation, and eventually they might want to move into maybe building a vehicle or controlling a vehicle, a flapping wing vehicle, a bird, as other universities have done. Same might happen with the Samara. Maybe why not generating energy with some of these self-rotation seeds, right, that we find in the nature. They have a lot of expertise on turbulence, right, and high-performance computing, which is a quite complex and unresolved problem in nature. And also another research line that they have has to do with applying all this knowledge that they have acquired in aerospace studies and aerospace scientific activities to health, right, to cardiovascular fluid mechanics. And as if you attended one of the seminars by Ana Diaz-Artiles, she was working in Texas, and she's going to be doing a sabbatical this year. They were studying that for humans in space, right, for space missions or moon missions that might happen in the next decade or next 2 decades, and understanding how the body reacts in a different environment, right, on Earth, might be interesting. So we are quite happy also to have applications from aerospace spin off to other domains and the other way around. Opportunities in this lab. These are just plans, okay? The control of unsteady aerodynamic flows, predictability and estimation of transport processes, turbulent flows, okay? So control of the fluid and further understanding of turbulence. This might be 2 opportunities that might be open. If you think you are interested or suitable for this, contact Oscar or Alberto or Miguel or Theren. You have the emails before, and they have a lot of collaborations, as you can see, with Austria, United States, etc. I don't know how things with the United States are going to go in the near future, but we have a lot of collaborations with them, and we expect or hope to keep them alive. Aeroelastic and structural design group. Here they do all what has to do with the design of the aircraft, structures, aerodynamics, different types of aircraft, electric, hybrid electric, hydrogen, including performances, etc., etc., etc. Here we have Andrea Cini was working with Rauno and with Antonio Raimondi. Antonio Raimondi left. Rauno is going to leave in June. But he's moving to the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, so they expect to also build a collaboration between us and BSc. They are opening or going to open different positions on aircraft design, airframe design tools. They are working on smart or AI-driven design, AI-driven manufacturing, with model-based system engineering, on certification or understanding elastic behavior for new types of airframes. Okay, so if you like aircraft, new type of vehicles, and you like this holistic vision in terms of high-level design, this might be offering opportunities for you. This is our group. Myself, Manuel Soler, Javi, who is teaching now, and Maria. And we basically deal with problems that have to do with operating the aircraft. We have been working on different problems related to meteorology and climate change from the perspective of predicting severe meteorological hazards or trying to quantify the climatic impact, and then embedding those elements into trajectory optimization problems, such the one you see there, because you might want to avoid a thunderstorm, or you might want to avoid areas in which you might be generating impact in terms of climate, okay? We also have a lot of projects and collaborations ongoing, and in terms of the opportunities that we might be opening, well, this is kind of, this is a canvas of what we are doing. We are interested in understanding the plume of the vehicle in terms of contrail, how pollutants are mixing, reacting with the atmosphere, and then how these ice crystals are propagated. This is an advection diffusion process that has some overlap with fluid mechanics. Then we're also interested in using machine learning techniques. In this case, we are not in the laboratory, as in the case of Stefan or Andrea. We are relying on leveraging data from satellites, from onboard sensors, from ground cameras to monitor climate, trying to detect and quantify, for instance, the impact of contrails. This is a very hot topic today. And then we are feeding this. This is an input to trajectory optimization problems, traffic scale optimization problems, including here you have sort of formation flight, which is a new way of operating aircraft that is promising some savings in terms of CO2. And we want to understand also what happens with non-CO2 and contrails. And we have a spin-off already, so higher tier level, on using AI to predict weather, right? So we might also offer some opportunities, industrial PhDs with them. And we are exploring some projects right now in some calls. So topics of interest for us. One topic that has been allocated with a lot of money is quantum technologies. They want to understand how quantum technologies can be applied to solve all these type of problems in air traffic management. The physical modeling of contrail plumes, data-driven approaches to detect and quantify contrails. Then we're interested in bridging optimal control, classical optimization, and artificial intelligence, which in the end is also an optimization problem. And then applications of all these to new vehicles, sustainable aviation fuels, hydrogen, hybrid electric, etc., etc., etc. Then here we are missing. Okay, here is the Gonzalo's activity, one of his activities on electrodynamic tethers, right? The idea, you can see it here, is to deploy a tether, a cable that can generate a force and remove debris. And they are doing mission analysis, ground station and software control, and they are even demonstrate this in 2026, right? So they have been securing funding in the European Innovation Council since 2019, right? Increasing the TRL level Now he has founded a company called Per se Space, and they are working in this project ET Compact, right? In which they will demonstrate this in 2026. Quite looking forward to see the launch and the results of all this research. Okay. So that's if you are interested in these topics, space systems, space science, talk to Gonzalo. He has also been working. It's a similar concept because there is also a tether, a cable, now connecting the ground with a kite to generate energy. Okay, and here he has been also securing funding from the National Science Foundation in Spain, doing from dynamics and control of the kite, aerodynamics and elasticity, and now also moving into building the machine, controlling the machine, operating the machine. So moving from fundamental low tier levels into higher and higher and more applied tier levels. This is also what we are doing in the group, and I think it's quite interesting to see science mature towards application. If you're interested into this, you can touch base with Gonzalo, who is right here. You can raise your hand. You all know him. But the control, right? Our control branch is led by Andres, and we have also Gabriele, and I don't know if Diego is around. I think he's not. The mail is not here, but you can easily find his mail in our webs, hopefully. And he's basically doing control, robust control, for different type of aerospace systems, launchers, satellites, also aircraft. He has a mixed curriculum, academic and industrial, so he's quite applied. And you see that he has projects starting at tier level 3 with ESA, with Airbus, with DLR, even tier level 6, 8. That's already in-flight demonstrations. So if you like these activities, Andres might be your guy. And you see that he has achieved very impressive results in reality, in practice. On top of that, he's also leading the Center of Satellite Technology, which I think is already operational or still is getting there.
14.5 degrees, so we need to warm it up so that they still don't freeze.
Okay, so here the idea is to have the capacity to build, assembly satellites, a wide chamber. He also leads the industrial chair with Stellar, with Cener, and the student CubeSat program. So all what has to do with building, designing, manufacturing, building a CubeSat, and eventually launching it for a given mission is on Andres. So if you are interested, contact him. Apart from that, he has this one PhD active, open at the moment, dealing with control, pointing control. So I think this is orbit. This is AOC's attitude.
Is attitude determination, ADCS.
Yes. Attitude determination of a CubeSat, software and hardware, right? So it's a control problem. And well, you have here the link. I guess we will post this position in our webs and media. So if you're interested, please touch base with him. And apart from that, he has another idea on the same topic. I don't know what is the difference between the first and the second. Probably the second is more mature. Then data-driven algorithms. So data-driven synthesis, so control and data-driven. That's a hot topic today. And the topic number 4 would be in the same direction. Low order modeling, so surrogate models for AI-driven identification, right? So you can see these activities. And all the activities include some work in the CubeSat program. So you will be also hands-on working with CubeSats if you are interested into that. EP2, this is in Spanish, propulsion, space propulsion and plasma physics, right? So they have mix between experimental facility, a quite advanced experimental facility, I think quite similar in Spain at least, in which they can do testing they manufacture and test different type of plasma thrusters, which are used for different purposes in space. And then they are quite also strong in numerical activities for determining or identifying or characterizing the plume of different types of engines. Okay, so if you like either the experimental part of the numerical part of plasma physics applied to space propulsion, this might be your group. You have here, we don't have the names and the emails, but we have Eduardo, Mario, right? And I guess Jaume is not in the room, so you can probably contact them. There are now 3 positions open, one on the experimental branch of the group, and the other 2 would be on numerical modeling of plasma thrusters, I think tied to this project that Mario has secured recently. This might be open in the near future, so if you're interested on this, please contact them. And this has reached me to the end. I'm doing quite okay with the time, I think. I don't know if there's any question. If anyone can point out anything, especially the faculty members that I have been talking on behalf. No? Everything's clear? So thank you. Now maybe we can move to our alumni panel, okay? Before I give you the floor, folks, let me talk a little bit about the alumni network that we launched last year, precisely in this event. Here is the web. We still need to populate it, so we need to organize activities under the umbrella of the network, but I think it's ongoing, which is good news. We have people pursuing scientific careers in American universities, top universities. People also working in different research centers here in Spain, but also in Italy or France, right? So some of our alumni are in these type of organizations. We also have 3 former students that are now faculty members, permanent or non-permanent. One of them is Rodrigo, who is going to be talking today about the academic path, right? What to do, all the obstacles and hurdles that you have, and the rewards, I guess, right? Of course. When it comes to R&D career in the aerospace sector, we have many people in these positions. I cannot bring all the people into this canvas, and I have to admit that I was lazy and I reused most of what I did last year. So, but we have people in Airbus, Deimos, who is not anymore Deimos, I believe, ITP, and we have Juanma talking about ITP, a very important company in Spain. And I was mentioning the 2 examples that we have in terms of creating a spin-off. We have Aerospace, right? We have invited them a couple of years ago, leveraging their activities on plasma physics and plasma thrusters to develop a new concept and offering a solution. And Aniel Jardines, who was my student, that has created AI Methods, a company that now has 8 people, and I think they have 20 or 25 employees, right? So I think it's quite important in terms of adding value to the society to create companies. And the other kind of more out-of-the-box activities that you can pursue, we have 2 examples here. Pedro Jimenez, he has started a position as consultant for Boston Consulting Group, which is one of the top 3 consultancy companies in the world. Why? Why they hire him? I don't know, but it's good news that this type of
Very smart guy.
That's exactly. No, I was saying that because I invited him also, but he was like, I'm new, I don't know. He will come next year, he has promised. No, but the point is that exactly what type of skills these guys, which are quite tough in terms of recruiting, what type of skills have they seen in Pedro? Not because Pedro is, of course, a very smart guy, as you all are, but I'm sure that they have seen something differential, combined with the fact that he wanted to also continue in that domain, which is not very comfortable. I mean, you need to work a lot.
I will talk about that.
Okay, super.
Not his skill, but generally speaking.
Okay, and also Tony, he's a data scientist in TomTom, which is not super out of the box because in the end it's navigating, is GPS, right? The navigators, maps. So it's kind of competing with Google, right?
Yeah.
So, and you see that there are options, right? And that's interesting to see. So, without going into more details, I'm gonna now give the floor to, first of all, Tony, then Juanma, and then Rodrigo, to discuss a bit these three paths, right? The more out of the box with Tony, the more traditional R&D position in the industry by Juanma, and then potential faculty paths. And you know that now, I invited Rodrigo especially because now there has been an agreement between the Spanish government and the regional government to populate the universities with young people. It's called Maria Goiri. So you're going to see a lot of openings in different universities all over Spain called ayudante doctor, so junior assistant professorship positions. So the university needs young people, right? And that's why we wanted to also have this talk today, okay? Floor is yours, Tony. Thank you, by the way.